You're 34 years old. You've been on 73 first dates in the past 5 years. 73. Coffee shops. Wine bars. Overpriced restaurants where you pretended to care about their stories. And every single one ended the same way. A polite, "We should do this again sometime," then silence. You go home. Lie in bed. Stare at the ceiling. And you wonder, "What's wrong with me?" Your married friends say, "It'll happen when you least expect it." Your parents ask, "Why are you so picky?" But you're not picky. You're exhausted. Exhausted from the apps. The small talk. The hope that turns to disappointment every single time. In this video, you'll discover the brutal psychological and economic reasons why finding the one is harder than ever, and why it's not your fault. Today, I'm going to show you why meeting the one feels impossible. And I promise, the answer will change how you see everything. Let's go. Chapter 1. The Paradox of Choice. Meet Jessica. She's 29. Lives in Brooklyn. Works in tech. Jessica has 247 matches on Hinge, 312 on Bumble. Every day, new faces. New possibilities. You'd think more options means better chances, right? Wrong. Jessica swipes through profiles like a catalog, dismissing people for the smallest reasons. He's wearing a baseball cap. Swipe left. His bio has a typo. Swipe left. He's 5 feet 10 inches, but I prefer 6 feet. Swipe left. She goes on dates. But she's always wondering, what if someone better is just one swipe away? So she never commits. Never invests. Never lets anyone in. Psychologist Barry Schwartz calls this the paradox of choice. In his book, The Paradox of Choice. Why more is less. When you have infinite options, you become paralyzed. Dissatisfied. Constantly second-guessing. Jessica isn't meeting the one because she's always looking for someone better. And better doesn't exist. It's just an illusion created by endless swiping. Her grandparents met at a church social. They had maybe 20 people to choose from. They picked each other. Built a life. Stayed together 50 years. Not because they found the one, because they chose one. Jessica has 559 matches. And she's lonelier than ever. Because abundance doesn't create connection. It destroys it. Chapter 2. The Baggage That Multiplies. Here's what nobody tells you about dating in your 30s. Everyone has damage. Everyone. Meet David. He's 36. Divorced. 1 kid. He's trying to date again. But it's a nightmare. Every woman he meets is dealing with something. Trust issues from an ex who cheated. Trauma from a toxic relationship. Fear of commitment after being hurt. And David has his own baggage. The bitterness from his divorce. The guilt about his kid. The fear of failing again. First date with Sarah. She's great. Smart. Funny. Third date, she says, "I need to take things slow. My ex really messed me up." David understands. But slow turns into months of uncertainty. He invites her to a wedding. She panics. That's too serious. They break up. David is back to square one. Psychologist Dr. Sue Johnson writes about this in Hold Me Tight. She found that past relationship trauma creates attachment injuries that make future intimacy difficult. The more relationships you've had, the more scars you carry. And those scars make it harder to trust, to be vulnerable, to let someone in. David isn't meeting the one because everyone he meets is still healing from the last one, including himself. By the time you hit 30, you're not just dating a person. You're dating their entire relationship history. And that's exhausting. Chapter 3. The economic reality. Let's talk about what nobody wants to admit. Meeting the one is expensive. Meet Amanda. She's 31. Lives in San Francisco. Marketing manager. She makes $85,000 a year. Sounds good, right? But her rent is $2,400. Student loans are $600. Groceries, transportation, utilities. By the end of the month, she has maybe $400 left. Dating costs money. Dinners. Drinks. Uber rides to meet someone across town. Last month, Amanda went on 4 first dates. Total cost, $320. None of them led to a second date. That's $320 for nothing. She can't afford to keep this up. But what's the alternative? Stay home? Hope someone magically appears? Economist Lyman Stone studied marriage rates and found a direct correlation with economic stability. People who are financially secure get married. People who are struggling stay single. Not because they don't want love, because they can't afford the lifestyle that comes with it. Amanda wants to meet someone. But she also wants to save for retirement. Pay off debt. Not live paycheck to paycheck. Dating feels like a luxury she can't afford. So she stays home. Alone. Frustrated. Her married friends met in college, when rent was $600 and dates were $20. Amanda is competing in an economy her parents never faced. And it's rigging the game against her. Chapter 4. The standards that grew. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your standards are higher than your grandparents ever were. Meet Michael. He's 33. Software engineer. Makes $130,000. He's looking for someone who is attractive, fit, ambitious, emotionally intelligent, good communicator, shares his values, wants kids, has a career, but not too career-focused, independent, but wants to spend time together. Michael reads his list and thinks, is that too much to ask? Yes. It is. Because his grandfather married a woman who was nice, available, from a good family. That's it. 3 criteria. Sociologist Andrew Sherlin writes about this in The Marriage Go-Round. He found that modern relationships require psychological compatibility that previous generations never expected. Your grandparents didn't need emotional intimacy or aligned life goals. They needed someone who could provide. Someone who could raise kids. Love was optional. Compatibility was optional. Michael isn't meeting the one because his definition of the one is impossibly specific. He wants a best friend, a lover, a business partner, a company parent, and a therapist. All in one person. And that person doesn't exist. Chapter 5. The timing that never aligns. But here's the cruelest part. Even when you meet someone great, the timing is wrong. Meet Sarah. She's 28. Just started a new job. Moved to a new city. She meets Jake at a coffee shop. He's perfect. Funny. Kind. Attractive. They go on 3 dates. The chemistry is real. Then Jake says, I'm moving to London in 2 months for work. Sarah's heart sinks. We could try long distance, she suggests. I don't think that's fair to either of us, Jake says. They stop seeing each other. Sarah is devastated. Not because Jake was the one, but because he could have been. If she'd met him a year later. or if he'd moved a year earlier. The timing was off by 8 weeks. And that was enough to kill it. Psychologist Dr. Helen Fisher studies this in her research on love and attachment. She found that right person, wrong time is one of the most common reasons relationships don't work. You can have chemistry, compatibility, connection. But if one person isn't ready, or life circumstances don't align, it doesn't matter. Sarah isn't meeting the one because timing is as important as the person. And timing is pure luck. Here's what I need you to understand. It's hard to meet the one because the concept itself is broken. You're swimming in infinite choices, which makes commitment impossible. You're carrying baggage from every past relationship. You're navigating an economy that makes dating prohibitively expensive. You're holding standards that would have been absurd 50 years ago. And even when you meet someone great, the timing has to be perfect. It's not that you're unlovable, or broken, or too picky. It's that the system is rigged against you. Your grandparents didn't find the one because soulmates existed. They found the one because they had 20 options, low expectations, and social pressure to marry young. You have 20,000 options, sky-high expectations, and no pressure except your own loneliness. So stop blaming yourself. And start understanding the game you're playing. Because once you see it clearly, you can decide, do I keep playing? Or do I change the rules? So tell me, what's the hardest part of dating for you? The options? The baggage? The cost? The timing? Drop a comment. What did you think of this video? If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing, and take a look at what we're exploring next.